Hi, I'm Chris Marcus, CEO of Marcus Business Academy. Are you making this deadly sales sin in your presentations? According to many sources, there are over 15 million sales jobs in the United States alone. The reality is, there are probably far more than that when you factor in that sales really has to do with so many jobs. Everything from a plumber to a scheduling assistant in a doctor's office is actually sales. And I talk a lot more about that in other videos. But given that, how do you stand out from the crowd? How do you be different? How do you not become just another salesman? Just another person hawking goods? What I'm going to show you in this video is the secret to truly being a rebel in the sales industry, to standing out from the crowd and being far more than just your typical salesman. Are you ready for it? Because this is the key. This is the secret. And this is the biggest mistake that most salespeople make in their presentations. This sin, this deadly sales sin, is actually taught by so many experts, so-called, that people think it's the right strategy for selling, when in fact, it is the reason that people don't like salespeople. Do you want to hear what it is? The deadliest sales sin. Never, ever, 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 ever say what you think the prospect wants to hear. Never, ever, ever say what you think the prospect wants to hear. Just don't do it. Don't ever say under any circumstance something just because you think the prospect wants to hear it. It's a huge mistake. This might go against years of sales tactics you've been taught or other advice you've been given, but it's bad advice. It doesn't work. And worse, it has actually the opposite effect on the prospect. Let me give you 3 reasons why. Number 1, you are not a mind reader. You do not know what the other person is thinking. You do not really know what they want to hear. No matter how many tricks there are out there, you cannot perform telepathy. And if you can, go to Vegas and put on a show there, because I promise you can make a lot of money and it's quite a bit easier. Number 2, when you guess, because you're not a mind reader, so you are guessing, how many times do you think you're going to get it right? And how many times do you think you're going to get it wrong? You're shooting at a moving target. You don't know what it is, you don't know what it looks like, and you're blindfolded, and you think you're going to hit on the right thing. The right thing that's going to make the person go, wow, this guy knows me so well. You're not going to get it. And the minute you say something like that, you guess it's the wrong thing, you've now created a rift between you and your prospect. And it's even worse because you've been insincere, and your prospect will recognize that. They will catch it. People know when someone is being insincere to them. Whether it's obvious or not, they get a feeling. And then reason number 3. When you're sitting there trying to read their mind or trying to figure out what to say, trying to figure out, what are they thinking? What can I say that'll get them? You're sitting there looking at them, looking at every little behavior, every little thought, every little action, every little word. And instead of being interested, being alive, paying attention to the actual conversation itself, you're stuck in your own head trying to figure out the right thing to say. And so your prospect is controlling you instead of you controlling your prospect. And you cannot make a sale if your prospect is leading you. It has to be the other way around. I remember one time as a prospect myself going through this with a salesperson. I was actually trying to buy some software for my company, some online software. It was to help make training and sharing of materials a lot simpler for all of my clients and give them a better way to study and learn what we were teaching. And we were on Skype doing one of those demos where you show me the screen and go through all of it and set up an account so I can see exactly what it looks like. And of course, it's a sales process, right? He's demonstrating what it does, but he's also, of course, trying to sell me the software. And I promise that the night before, I'm sure of it, this guy read the famous sales book, How to Lose Friends and Influence People to Give You the Finger. Because he was doing things that were just unbelievable. And what he was actually doing was this. Every time I would say something, he would lead it and try to finish my sentence or finish my thought or complete my thought with a whole idea of his own, what he thought I wanted to hear. So I would say, listen, okay, so I got about 45 clients and there's 3 to 4, staff per client. And he would say, okay, so you want to keep them all in one account to keep costs down. And that was not what I was going to say. And I said, no, actually, I want a separate account for each of them. And it can be under an umbrella, but I want them all to have different accounts. It wasn't what I was going to say. It wasn't what I was thinking at all. And he kept doing this, kept getting it wrong, because of course he's not going to get it right. He doesn't know what I'm thinking. He doesn't know what I want. My thoughts and priorities were actually the opposite of what he kept bringing up. So this sales tactic actually made it so I didn't buy from him, and I ended up going with another company simply because they gave me a better presentation. And when I enjoy the presentation, I tend to buy from somebody. So it really doesn't work in sales. And let me give you an example in life where you see this all the time. Actually, in dating. In dating, you see this constantly. And I think women experience it more than men. When you're trying to woo somebody or date them, be interested in them, try to attract them, or however it is, whatever you want to call it, people try to do this. Someone will say, yeah, my favorite band is, Bleeding Ears, Pounding Migraine. It's amazing, great band. And the other guy will go, oh yeah, I love that band. I listen to them every night while I fall asleep, just rocks me right to sleep. Wow, we have so much in common. As an attempt, to get this person to like them or something like that, right? It never works. If you've been in this situation, if you've experienced this, for one, that it's completely insincere. And two, it's just kind of cheesy. It's really corny. And it really doesn't do anything for you. You tend to respect people more who say what they're thinking. So it doesn't work. When someone does that, you don't immediately experience, wow, I'm in love with this person. And in sales, when this person who's selling does that, believe me, the prospect doesn't go, wow, what a great salesman. They know what I'm thinking. Let me just buy from them and spend all this money. So it doesn't work. Don't do it. And if you don't do this and cut this out of your sales routine, it actually is much easier to sell. It's much easier to talk to the people in front of you. And if you don't know what to say and you don't know how to go about selling, on my Power Sales program, I have course after course that breaks it down, that goes over the entire sales process, communication, defines selling, talks about objections, closing, all of it, to give you an exact, systematic, formulaic approach to selling. So if you're interested, head over to the website and read more about it. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.